Hey, welcome back to the channel. Going to do something a little bit different today. So 57 is done. It's winter time here, so not really getting this thing out much. Just kind of tinkering away with some projects here in the garage. But for those that are interested, I thought it would be decent to do a review on my mini split here that I put in about 2 years ago. So this is a DIY unit. I'm just going to kind of give a good once over on what I like about the thing and maybe applicable to your situation. So I picked this thing up, like I said, going on almost 2 years ago now. This is a Senville brand, and it's their economical Leto or Leto series. This thing is 18,000 BTUs, which was a little bit oversized for my space. If I remember correctly, they make a 12,000 and an 18,000, and per the square footage in this garage here, I needed somewhere in the 13,000 BTUs, so decided for the money just to go larger versus smaller. So got this thing. I ordered it on eBay. Now they sell them everywhere. Just I think there was a coupon or something going on eBay through the Senville store. So it was direct from the manufacturer. But this thing here is a DIY unit. I put it in a day. Didn't have to have anybody come out and charge the system up or anything. I ran all the wiring. It's a pretty straightforward deal if you're somewhat mechanically inclined. But this thing was $900 when I bought it almost 2 years ago now, and I actually just checked the price and they are still $900. So shockingly, they didn't go up at all in the past year and a half, 2 years now. So kind of give you a quick rundown on this thing. It is of course, it's a heat and cool. The heat is a heat pump, so it's kind of works fair. I've actually got a propane heater in the garage that I can use to get this thing super hot in here. But for just knocking the chill off, like I said, it's set on 62 right now, and that's just enough to kind of get in here and work on some stuff without it being miserably cold. But pretty straightforward little setup. So this thing comes with the inside unit, the head unit, the air handler, whatever they want to call it, and then of course the outside unit, a line set. And that's about all it comes with. So as far as install is concerned, you're obviously going to have to run power to it. So this thing actually here runs on a 2-pole 15. So this thing runs to the power to the unit to the outside. So we went through, nippled through the wall here, and I'll carry you outside and kind of show you what that ended up looking like. So came out of here, 1/2-inch conduit with little LB, shot here behind the fence, and I placed this thing next to my unit for the house. So I've got my conduit coming through the fence here, comes up to a pull type disconnect, and it drops down out of a little flexible whip here that comes into the unit itself. Pretty straightforward there. And then of course the line set coming from the air handler nipples through the wall, comes down, goes into the unit itself. So short of what comes with the unit, the only extra stuff that I had to buy was disconnect here, a little bit of conduit and wire, breaker for the panel in here, this little flexible whip here, and then my concrete blocks that I've got this thing set on. And now they sell trim kits for you to cover up your line set. I actually opted to use this is 4x3 plastic downspout gutter that I painted to match the wall, and then I took a couple just generic gutter fittings and cut them to size and fit over this. This ended up being, I don't know, like maybe $15 worth of parts versus the trim kit, which was I think 60 or 80 if I'm not mistaken. But this thing actually just kicked on. It's running now. So the outside unit here will run for a handful of minutes, cycle on and off, but the inside is on all the time. It doesn't necessarily turn off or cycle on and off like a traditional AC unit would, and I guess it's more efficient that way is what kind of how they read. So other than that, this thing is like I said, pretty straightforward install. Now they come with the line sets. You can get them different lengths, so I opted to get the just the generic line set length for this unit here, because the outside unit itself is pre-charged, and if you decide to get a longer line set, you may have to, depending on the length, there may not be enough coolant, Freon, in the unit itself to charge the line set if you end up getting something significantly longer than what it comes with from the factory. And obviously that would be noted in the technical specs of the unit you were to choose. But I've had zero issues out of this thing. It's super quiet. It has obviously allowed me to spend a whole lot more time in this space here, especially in the summer. Wintertime, I just use it to knock down some of the knock down some of the chill. But this thing is Wi-Fi capable. You can hook into your Wi-Fi and then do an app on your phone. I don't have any of that set up. I just use the generic remote here. So this thing, when you shut it off, this little fin goes up, should close that little door there, and that would be off. And if the weather's half decent, I'll leave the thing off, but for the most time it is on in some fashion. So we can kick this thing on. It's set to heat right now. There's a eco and auto. I've just got it set to the lowest setting and lowest fan speed, but you can kind of tailor that to your liking here. So swing button on the fan, that thing should take that little fin and just move it up and down to kind of direct the airflow. I use that more in the summer when I get this thing cranking out some cooler temperature to kind of cool down the other side of the garage there. But pretty happy with it overall. I have had zero issues out of it. One thing to note, the filters on it are, you know, just fair at best. Let's see if I can get up here. So you actually pull the door off this thing, if I remember correctly. This guy opens up here, like so. And here's your filters. So these things actually probably need to be cleaned. I'm not very good about cleaning them in a timely manner, but once a month or so, yeah, they need to be blown out, but I'll take care of that in a minute. Usually get up here with a compressor and just knock this thing out when I've got the door open and I'm sweeping the building out. That's pretty well that. I mean, it's a super simple unit overall. I would say if anybody's looking for something cost effective to kind of heat and cool your space, I would definitely not be opposed to throwing one of these things in. As far as the install goes, in terms of the refrigerant side, all that was needed to hook this thing up was a vacuum pump. And of course, I've got one hanging around here for other car projects. You can pick one of those up, you know, for rent at your, you know, at a parts house. The only thing is there's an adapter that's a little bit different fitting than just like a regular R134A connection. I think I ordered a couple of those for, I don't know, $6 or $8. But you just you vacuum down the system outside. Be sure it holds pressure or holds I guess a negative pressure for however long, and then once that sets for, you know, whatever the directions specify, unhook that guy. And there's a couple Allen keys that you just pop loose, and it releases the coolant from its, I guess, reservoir inside the unit, charges the system up, and that's all there is to it. So like I said, I have not had any issues out of this thing. If I was doing another one in a different space, I would not shy away from using this exact same unit again. I know they've got higher dollar you know, units, probably better warranties that you can't buy as far as a DIY. They've got to be you know, quote unquote professionally installed. But for the money, you can't beat this thing. I've kind of tried to track what it's done to our utility bill. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe $15 to $25 a month, you know, extra, depending on the time of the year. Probably closer to 15 most of the time, but in the summertime, if I'm really working in here and it's you know, beaten down hot, I'll cool it down to, you know, 75 or 6 in here, and this thing works a little bit harder to keep up. So I would say it's does use you know, more energy in the summer, but I do try to keep it a little bit cooler in here. So that's pretty well that. So hopefully that maybe helps somebody out that might be interested in looking for one. But slowing down for projects right now. Maybe we'll try to keep you know, a decent little couple videos coming here or there. But other than that, thanks for watching.